So many crafts, so many minis. This is Crafts and Minis, and I have an awesome haul to share with you. I'm going to let this sit so I can just grab things and bring them to the camera. I'm so excited. Can you tell I'm a little excited about this? There's a store in the Kansas City area, that's where I'm at, that is called US Toy, and I'll put a link to their website. I don't know if this is a national chain, I have no idea, but I know there's only one in town, and they're moving. I actually got inspired to stop by there because I saw a video by Matakishi last week where he painted up some flies, some toy flies, and I got all jealous and I wanted my own toy flies that looked exactly like his. And so I decided to stop by US Toy because they sell that type of stuff. They're a place for teachers and Halloween stuff, any party supplies. They have a magic shop. Like, it's just really, really cool. Well, when I pulled in, I saw this moving sign, and they said they were having a moving sale, so everything was 30% off. And so, I went after it. I so went after it. Now, I didn't find flies exactly like Matakishi's, but I found some other stuff, and I wanted to share. So, first things first, I do have a 28 millimeter elf. She's my favorite miniature from Privateer Press, just for scale purposes, that I will maybe show for some comparisons to stuff. But I'm going to just start grabbing stuff and showing you. Okay, so first things first, I wanted flies. Well, I didn't get the ones that Matakishi had, and I'm going to be opening up packages as we do this because I'm going to rebag all this stuff. But I wanted to show you. I got a bag of flies. That's a crazy amount. 72 of them for, super cheap. And I'm sorry I don't have all the prices. So this is what one of the flies looks like. And compared to the elf, it's huge. And it's just a rubbery plastic material, but going to be great for the tabletop. It's hollow on the bottom, which is interesting because it's kind of actually versatile. Whoop, it's running away. I can either mount it on its legs on a base, and I'll probably do some like that. But I also want to just mount some of these flying, right? Like stick a nail in it and stick that on the base so it's flying. And you can see that's going to be really cool. So I got 72 of those, which is awesome. I also found a package of 12 alligators. Now these will fit on a large size base, a 2-inch base. What I liked about these is that it's a variety. Some have closed mouths, some have open mouths, which is really cool. And so now I got a dozen of these. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm kind of weird about numbers of minis, and especially when you're grouping them into bad guys for things like Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop games, right? I like to have at least a dozen of whatever the bad guy is. And so it's cool to be able to have a package that just comes with a dozen alligators like that. Okay, here's a big old package, 72 ants. Now, I already had a package of these, but I, of course, wanted more because why not more? Now, these don't fit exactly on a 25 millimeter base, right? So you have to go a little bigger, but I'm going to show you a solution actually that I got for a little bit bigger bases. Now, if you're like super stuck to using the grid in something like D&D, going bigger on a medium-sized creature's base goes outside of the lines. And if you're hung up about that, I don't know what to tell you. But if you don't mind, or you're not using the grid, you can just say this is medium-sized because it's within range, right? It's within range. But these giant ants are awesome. And then someone's going to tell me in the comment, right? What's the D&D humanoid ant creature? Like, I totally think you could do a conversion here, right? You snip the heads, and you take some of the legs, and you snip them, and then you could make this standing up, right? And it could be really cool. And then you just fill in the body with some hot glue or putty or whatever you got. So I got 72 ants also, on top of my 72 flies, on top of my 12 alligators. I also have these. Okay, these are erasers, but what type of erasers are these? These are brain erasers. And if you see it going off screen, it's because I'm opening it up with some scissors. And I wanted to show you. So these are awesome. Unlike some pencil erasers where you have a big hole in them, these don't have a hole. So these are whole brains. And of course, you could just have like, you know, your intellect devourer. You toss some legs on there somehow, and you got an intellect devourer. I mean, it'd be medium size. Or you can do all sorts of fun stuff. You could use these just on the head as heads themselves on a large size creature, which would be amazing. Or, okay, I'm going to just show you. Spinning spider tops. Okay, I've never seen these before except for at this place, US Toy. It's produced by a company called Kid Fun. What does that say? Making fun easy. If fun's not easy for you, Kid Fun will help make it easy. That's their promise on the packaging. And there's a ton of tops, 72 pieces that come in this. And here's what these look like. Okay, these are called spider tops. And you can see they have the pointy end there. And so on the table, you can spin it, right? And that's just hours of fun. But if you want to have hours of fun in a different way with these, I would use them on the tabletop. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to clip that bottom part off, and then I'm going to mount these brains on there. How cool is that? Answer, way cool. Way, way cool. The other things I'm going to mount on here, skulls, plastic skulls. I could just mount, like, cut this peg off completely and just mount a gem directly on it, or just cover it up with some hot glue. And there you go. What's also cool about something like this, if you flip it over, it's just as usable. But then I could cut down the legs a little bit more, and then it's closer to being able to actually fit on a 1-inch base. Because if you cut the legs off right there, at where the bend is, now it can sit like that. And it has these 2 pincher arms, which is cool. And you could snip those to be pointy if you wanted. So there you go. I got 72 of those. And I got my brain erasers and all sorts of possibilities. It's just so much. It's just so much, and it's so fun. And that's where you got to look at stuff. Like, I love looking at bugs, and you can see in the corners here, I got some more bugs to show you. But there's also other stuff, like these tops. 48 of these. I actually got 2 packages because I hoard miniature stuff and crafting stuff. And I just thought, man, there's a lot of uses for these. Okay. So I got a bunch of these. Again, these are made to be tops that you spin. Yeah, it's spinning. Actually, that's doing a really good job. That actually might be hours of fun. So either you can have 48 tops spinning at once, that could be your challenge for the day, or you can use these in your terrain and miniatures. So I have some large size creatures from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, that need some shields. So guess what? Boom. This is going to be their shield. So, you know, I have 96 shields, but also these can be used in all sorts of different ways. These could be used as different types of wheels for carts. They could be used as the topper on top of a tent type building or any other sort of hut as a little accent piece. They can be used in all sorts of different ways in crafting. These are the type of things that when you find them, they're just like gold because you have so many different uses for them. So I got a ton of those, which is a lot of fun too. Then, of course, I got more bugs. So I got 2 packages of these, 72 bugs each. Let's just look through. The reason I got these, even though I've reviewed a ton of different types of bugs on my channel, and you know I got more bugs than I'm ever going to personally use, is because of the different styles. So this has a butterfly, which is just nice, or it's a moth. Ooh, giant moths. That could be a cool encounter, right? But look at the size. They're not crazy. I mean, they're large for bugs, obviously. But like some bugs you get have to be large-sized creatures. Guess what? This can be mounted up as a medium-sized creature, which is awesome. Also, it's got some grasshoppers. Again, relatively good scale. What I really liked in these were there were some smaller little bugs. Look at that like beetle thing, right? With the pinchers. That is awesome. Let me show you. Boom. Yep. Boom again. That's going to work great on 1-inch bases. That just gets me so excited. dragonflies. I have big dragonflies, large size. Guess what else I have now? Medium-sized dragonflies. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't need medium-sized dragonflies? I don't hear anybody say anything, so I assume you all need them. Look at that. Another type of beetle. Guess what? Boom, 1 inch. You know I went crazy. But this is what I do, right? I love all these. Oh, look, another type of fly. Okay, that's not Matakishi's, but it's closer. I'll link to his video if I didn't say that. That got me all inspired to go hunting for flies. Yeah. Different stuff. So all sorts of bugs. Ooh, and then look at these bees. Are you kidding me? You need some medium-sized bees for your game, don't you? I did. That's why I got all these. So I got 2 packages of those, which is awesome. And the reason I got 2, and I probably should actually go back and get more, is because I wanted a dozen of each type. And I don't know if I have a dozen of each type. I don't know how many come in a package. You saw me open up the first one, so I still haven't counted them. But my hope is that I can get a dozen out of each. Now, I also got, these are called neon caterpillars. And what I liked about these is that the plastic was a little more rigid on them. So these aren't like bendy style or rubbery caterpillars. Because when you go with something that's longer, right, bigger, yeah, I don't like the bendy stuff as much. So these are a little more rigid. And there's a bunch of different styles here, right? Now, the trouble is, or the challenge, I should say, is that obviously this doesn't fit neatly on a base. This would fit on like a 75 millimeter base, but you don't want one dude on a 75 millimeter base. They do make pill bases from some companies that are, 100 or 75, like I said, millimeters long, 3 inches, which would be cool. But you could easily make your own bases for these, like some popsicle sticks or wide tongue depressors, and you're in business. But look at all this variety. That's awesome. Or, you know what? I don't do this a lot, but you can just have it on the table without a base. What's going on? Well, a lot of fun is going on. That's what's going on. So that's what I'm encouraging you. Take a look at something, and you know what? I could also use this in conversions, right? I could snip this down and just make medium-sized creatures, a bunch of medium-sized creatures if I wanted to just snip these down because the texture is so cool. Or I could use these as like the tentacles on a bigger monster or something. You know what I'm saying? There's all sorts of stuff. So I got a couple bags of those, which is fun. Oh, I also got some bigger bugs. Okay. Bugs, 12 pieces, 2 bags. That means I got 24 of these. Now, these are going to fit on your 2-inch base, right? Your 50 millimeter base. And they come in all sorts of little different sizes here. So, let me show you that. Okay. So you can tell, that's a big old bug. That's going to be on a 2-inch base. And these probably would be also on 2, maybe just a 40 millimeter for some of these. But, these huge beetles are just so dang cool. Now, their legs lie flat like that, which is fine. I mean, honestly, if you're doing an encounter and you don't want to spend time basing these and repainting them and all that, you can just lay them out and cool, encounter, right? Ambush. And it's fun. And you don't have to spend a lot of time. And that's the other cool thing about some of these things. If you're just doing one encounter with these, and then you're going to, give these away as just toys for kids to play with or whatever, awesome. But the cool thing is when you can get these things cheap, you have that option for just using one thing for an encounter, which is really cool. Okay, next. These guys have been sitting here the whole time. I got 2 of these. Now, I don't know what type of spider has bones. Don't they just have an exoskeleton? But whatever. I got these 2 because of the book Monsters of Feyland by Kwood Publishing that I reviewed on the channel, which shout out to the folks at Kwood Publishing. They're awesome. Go check out that book. It's a lot of fun. But they have these big spiders like this that are huge size, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, their entry. And they're ridden by these large size skeleton warriors. So these are for a later conversion to make those. But, I mean, these are just awesome on their own as well and ripe for conversion work, right? Which is really cool. Okay, just a couple more things. Dragon Claw. It's a cuff bracelet. Either I can wear this out as a bracelet, or now I have a Dragon Claw. And that's a good time. What I'm going to do is make this into a piece of terrain because, yeah, my players got tattoos like this on their neck, not on purpose. They occurred magically. What's going on? They started tightening the grip. I don't know. So, yeah, that's going to be part of the game. Then I got 6 of these. Okay, look at when you're out and about for like Halloween and stuff, or different party favors, look at the necklaces and the bracelets and the toy jewelry, because there's always cool stuff. And the reason I got these is because I've gotten these before. This is a skeleton necklace. And these skulls are awesome. Okay, a little bigger than just a 28 millimeter skull, but no biggie, right? You can use these for conversions all day, every day. These skull beads are awesome. And then, of course, what could I put these on? Oh, man. What if I had skulls on top of mechanical spider things? It's crazy. So I like having these on hand. Skulls are one of those bits that you can't have enough of. So get them while you can. Counters. Now, I did a whole video on 1-inch counters. They're teaching counting chips, actually, right? And I give you a link in that video description of where you can get the 1-inch ones. These I love. I've gotten 2 of these buckets before. I picked up another 2, and I'm going to open it up for you here. The reason I love these is they're a little different size. They're a little bit larger than 1 inch. Actually, let me show you one that'll show up better. Okay. So what I like about these, round, they've got just a little lip on them, which is really cool. And look at that. That's not 40 millimeter. That's not 50. That's not 2 inches, right? That's just a little bit bigger than 1 inch, than 28 millimeter. In fact, these are probably closer to the 32 millimeter or 34 millimeter maybe. But like the larger medium size, I guess you would call them GW bases now, that like the big Space Marines come on. That's my guess. But I love these. So I got 200 of these in one, so that means I got 400 more of these. And, you know, what's so cool is, don't know why I just show you the elf by herself. She's awesome. What's so cool is, like, I don't know where else to get these. Like, I didn't find these online. Maybe you can get them on Amazon. Go check it out. So, okay, the company is Eureka. There you go. There's the information if you want to try to check it out. They're just called counters, 200-piece learning set. And I really encourage you, when you're doing your hunting, go to teacher supply stores. Go to, of course, toy stores. Keep your eyes open at Halloween. But the teacher supply stores are really interesting for all the counters and stuff. Mechanical spiders and flies. So I just wanted to share this haul with you because I couldn't believe it. Now, what's really cool and an extra bonus is, yeah, I got all this for 30% off, and that was a really good deal. But it's not because the store was closing. And you know, I've gotten some deals before where stores were closing, and it was just sad because no one likes the store that you find value in to go out of business, of course. But this store is actually moving closer to where I'm at, which is really cool. So they're moving locations. Hopefully it'll be a great thing for the store, US Toy. And again, I'll link to in the description below to their website. But check out any sort of teacher supply, magic supply, toy stores in your area and see what they carry. And hunt online, because you can also find deals there, as we know. But I just thought this was a really, really cool toy haul. And I was so excited to share it with you. So keep hunting out there. Keep sharing. Thanks for checking all this good stuff out. And go get after your hobby.